Ukraine has fired 6 more ATACMS missiles into Russia, and Russia is saying that they may retaliate. Like and subscribe, and let's get to this. U.S. warns Russia may be ready to use new lethal missile against Ukraine again in coming days. Russia could launch its new intermediate-range ballistic missile against Ukraine again soon, the Pentagon said Wednesday, as both sides wrestle for a battlefield advantage that will give them the leverage in any negotiations to end the nearly 3-year-long war. The article goes on to talk about the 6 ATACMS missiles that were launched into Russia. Russia claims 2 of them, which were destroyed by air defense, and 4 were diverted with electronic warfare. Take that with a grain of salt. But what is 100% for sure is that if they retaliate again with their new missile, we are going to get another look at the Oreshnik. And as I've said in numerous videos, I think the Oreshnik is the start of a new kind of warfare. An intermediate range ballistic missile that they will once again warn the United States approximately 30 minutes before they launch the missile that they're going to launch it. And this time I believe it may be more than 1. With the ATACMS attack being 6, I could see them launching 2 to 4, blanketing a target with 36 times 2 to 4. You could have up to 72 or 144 individual submunitions landing all at once. And this time I don't believe it'll be a factory. This time it'll be a more significant military target or a political target. My first guess, this is just my supposition right now, there's a lot of speculation online that the target would actually be the Ukrainian parliament or something like that. I think that's going a little too far. I don't think that they would do that. I think that their attack would actually be on the bases that they believe are housing the F-16s. I think that would be their next target, because that is... You can't target the ATACMS launchers with this Oreshnik missile. You could, but it really is kind of a waste. What you're trying to do with this Oreshnik missile, as I've stated in previous videos of mine, and I'll link a couple of those videos in the description below, this is more of an area weapon, more of a base weapon, factory weapon, seaport weapon. These are kinetic energy munitions that may or may not have warheads on them. They may not require warheads. The kinetic energy in itself is the equivalent of a Mark 84 2,000-pound bomb. Actually, it's twice that. I'll link the video that is stated in the description. That's what I think their first targets would be the bases they believe are housing the F-16s. Because the elimination of an entire air base with this is also a hell of a message. And that's one of the things that's speculated that this weapon is specifically designed for. Because, as you'll see, and I'm going to bring up the video here, so that way everyone can see it. This is the attack on Dnipro. It'll start over here right now. This is real speed, real time. All of these blinking lights down here, and we'll let it go through one more time. And as I point out in a previous video, all these blinking lights here are car alarms going off due to the impact of these submunitions at Mach 11.4 is what the Ukrainians state that the speed is. Mach 11.4. As you can see at the start of the video, there are no car alarms going. These submunitions are designed to be underground penetrators and to cause small seismic anomalies. The seismic anomalies are designed to destroy underground bunkers in the same way that a heat projectile destroys a tank, causing the inside of the metal to melt off and fleck and flake. It's the same principle. It's crazy what these munitions can do. And this is what it looks like from a distance falling from the sky. This is what World War III will look like, by the way. Like I said previously, I think this is really the start of intercontinental warfare. And I'll link that video. I have a number of videos about this Oreshnik missile, its use, and the game-changing nature of it. To use intercontinental missiles to deliver conventional submunitions on what will end up being a continental basis. The Chinese will have this technology. The United States will have this technology soon enough. We cannot look at this missile and stop drooling. We just are drooling all over this thing. Believe me, we are drooling all over this thing. We will have 30 minutes warning again this time. And once again, as I state in a previous video, I believe this also begins what is a gentleman's agreement. And this is that agreement. Let me explain it. We will warn you when we launch these. If we don't warn you, it may be nuclear. That is implied because of the nature of the missile itself. The nature of the missile itself is that of a nuclear-capable missile. And anyone responsible has to assume that if you're not telling me that you're shooting it, it's nuclear. And you're starting something. So the gentleman agreement is this. We will warn you ahead of time. We will begin to do this as well. We'll start using these as well. Again, the Defense Department is drooling all over this weapon. All over it. They have to be. This is game-changing. The fact that you could have somebody in Kansas fire a missile, have it hit somewhere in China, Russia, Syria, Ukraine, Iran, you name it, and have this effect, but not be nuclear and not start World War III in a nuclear sense, and yet have such destructive capability. Have you seen anything from that Dnipro factory as far as damage? You've seen what looked like missile buses, some fuel assemblies, but you haven't heard anything about the damage. Think about that. A lot of times you'll see on Twitter, on Instagram, damage. From most strikes, you'll see damage, videos, assessments. You've seen nothing. Nothing. And I don't think it's because it was so devastatingly great. I think it's because intelligence agencies are drooling over this technology. The Russians have something that is game-changing. Everybody knows it. I wouldn't be surprised if we have more ATACMS strikes into Russia specifically to get the response so we can get intelligence. It would make sense. What are you willing to sacrifice to get as much information on your enemy's newest and most revolutionary weapon? You might be willing to sacrifice a couple of factories, maybe even an airbase, possibly some old 1970s F-16s that you just happen to have laying around in the Netherlands and Denmark that you just, whatever. Think about it. This weapon is game changing. Everybody knows it. Everybody wants it. So why not? That's all I got. I appreciate you. Thank you.